Hello and welcome to another journal. My name is Joji and these are videos that I record talking about my knitting and other things that I like to do. I am a knitwear designer and I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and today is Thursday, January 25, 2024, and I am recording from New York City. And it's going to be a slightly interrupted video. As I told you last time, I'm trying to be more present and I'm trying to have a bit of a schedule with my videos. We'll see if I can keep that up. But here I am. I thought even though I don't have all my things with me and I am not as relaxed as with other videos, as you can tell, I am here and enjoying connecting to all of you. I want to thank you for all the feedback on my latest journal. I appreciate you. And I hope you like this one too. First of all, I want to talk about the pattern that I have just released on Ravelry today. It's called MILTON. It's not the pattern that I'm wearing. I will tell you about the one I'm wearing later. But I'm going to put MILTON on. I showed you guys that I was working on this about 2 weeks ago when I recorded my previous journal. And I told you that this one was coming. I'm going to take my jacket off the back of my chair. And so, MILTON has been finally published. It is a pattern that I designed in collaboration with my friend Amy from La Bien-Aimée, who made the beautiful yarn that I used. And I can finally show you from a hotel room full of gifts shopping that my niece made. Because I'm staying with my niece, I'll tell you all about it. But I thought I don't have a lot of time to record. So I thought if I try to make everything perfect and everything look nice for this video, it will not get done. And so, you get to see all her shopping. Speaking of MILTON, I'm looking at my computer. Sorry for the bad setup. Speaking of MILTON, let's talk about how it's built and what's special about it and what's similar to MILTON, the pattern that inspired the name, and what's different. So let's start with the biggest difference, and is the shoulder construction. For those of you who don't know, I have another pattern called MILTON. It's very popular, I like to think. I never like to say those things, but a lot of people have either knitted MILTON or MILTON pullover, or at least they have heard of this design. I don't remember what year it came out, MILTON initially, but basically it's a drop shoulder cardigan that has stripes similar to this, so a solid colored yarn or a thicker yarn, and then a thinner yarn that creates this translucent striping effect. Okay, so I took the stripes. That's the only thing in common between MILTON and MILTON. I took the stripes and then I made a new design, which is a basic design. If you don't like the stripes, if you want to add stripes but you don't like the see-through fabric or the transparent fabric that mohair creates, you can absolutely make MILTON with 2 different colors of any yarn that gives you gauge. For my sample, I used Merino Sport and mohair silk, so a sport weight yarn and a very light mohair. And I have talked here before about how different brands make different qualities of mohair. Qualities I'm not referring to one is better quality than the other one, more as in they have different characteristics. So some mohairs are more silky than others, some are more hairy or fluffy than others. This mohair that I used is by La Bien-Aimée. It's called silk mohair, and it's considerably thinner than other mohair yarns that I work with. As you know, I have worked with many mohair yarns recently, and so my hands are very used to touching different qualities of mohair. And I told Amy that I think her mohair is particularly good for a Milton if you like the fact that it's so see-through, because hers has a bigger silk content, but also it's one of the lightest mohairs you'll find. So if you're really after this contrast with lights and shadows, then you should look for a mohair yarn that has similar qualities to this one that I am using. However, if on the contrary you prefer, you like the difference in merino mohair, but you are not so into the see-through fabric, then there are plenty of options with more body to the yarn that will not create such a contrasting stripe effect. Okay, so first feature of the pattern, I would say, is the striping. And then, yeah, I took the stripes and I did a shoulder slope design. So you increase stitches on these lines, you place markers, and then you increase stitches on each side of these markers. What else? Then I did a set-in sleeve, so you have a nice fitting shoulder shaping. For those of you who don't favor drop shoulder designs, I know that there are a lot of knitters out there who don't feel comfortable with this shape, or maybe they love it but they want to try something else. I personally really like it, but I wouldn't want all my cardigans to have the same shape. Sometimes I like things to be a little bit more tailored, a little bit more refined. As you know, I use a lot of different construction. This is definitely a design that can be more adjusted to your body measurements. So you have an upper back width, like a shoulder width. Then you have an armhole depth that you can also adjust. There's armhole shaping. And therefore, this is a design that definitely stays on the shoulders. If you want something more refined, then MILTON works better than Elton for that purpose. The set-in sleeve also is, I wouldn't say it's better fitting, but it's actually a sleeve that fits on your sleeve, on your arm and shoulder, whereas the drop shoulder sleeve is a sleeve that starts way past the shoulder line, and therefore for some people they are not so comfortable having the extra fabric here under the arm, so that is also a benefit. I added a lovely shawl collar that I hope that you can see. This is also something that I like. I mean, I like a V-neck, but I wanted something that would sort of gather around my neck so that I can cover myself, or just have this extra bit of fabric. Why am I so excited about all this fabric? Because this sweater actually weighs very little. And then when I work with heavier weight yarns like worsted weight or Aran weight, I try to minimize the extra fabric, because everything makes the cardigans or the sweaters drape too much or weigh too much. When I'm working with a fabric that is so light, I like to make the most of that. And so I can add fabric to the collar, I can add fabric to the length. You'll see how long this is. And it's still, the garment will still be something that is very light. Then let's go and see some features of the body. The sleeves are standard fitting. These are not balloon sleeves. Sometimes I use balloon sleeves or like straight sleeves. This is a standard fitting sleeve. Normally what I do is I take the upper arm measurement of a table of measurement, and then I take the cuff measurement or the wrist measurement, and then I distribute my decreases along the sleeve for a standard. It's not a tight sleeve, it's a standard fitting sleeve. As you can see, I can wear garments underneath, but I didn't add a lot of positives because I still wanted a sleek look to my cardigan. I'm gonna go a little bit further away for you to see that this goes past my bum. So this covers my behind nicely. I love this length. I think that this length is probably the length I am most comfortable dressing with. I had a bit of fun, but at the same time I was stressed thinking what to wear for the photos when I was about to do the photo shoot for the cardigan. I wanted what I was wearing to be able to show you the transparency and the drape of the fabric while not taking you away from the design, not capturing all the attention towards what I was wearing. So I think I had 3 different outfits for the photos. My favorite was just wearing a plain black top with plain black jeans, and I think that worked best to show you guys the features of the pattern. But I also wore a long skirt with a knitted top, and I thought that it looked really elegant with long drapey layers as well. I don't like to wear something too boxy or too long or too oversized when I'm also wearing loose garments underneath, like a flowy skirt or some gathered trousers. So if I'm wearing a big garment underneath, I try to wear garments on top that are either more tight-fitting or that are slightly cropped. Or I also sometimes tuck them inside my pants or my skirts. But I found that actually the drape of MILTON and the very subtle A-line shaping actually make this garment have a very sleek line that works for dresses and bigger layers on the bottom, just as well as with skinny jeans or something that is more tight-fitting. Okay, the pattern is out and it's on Ravelry and hokiknits.com, and it's 20% off until Sunday, until the end of the day, so all through the weekend. I hope that you like it, and if you like it, I hope that you get your copy while it is still on sale. That helps me a lot and I appreciate that. And for those of you wondering the sizing, my usual sizing goes from size 1 to 10. I started numbering my sizes a couple of years ago. I wouldn't say that there is a better or worse way to call them, but I didn't find that calling a size 6 extra large made a lot of sense, because it actually just added numbers and letters. It didn't really make sense. So I thought, okay, why don't I just call them a number? So they are the 1. My size 1 is usually aimed for a knitter with a bust measurement of 30, and then size 10 is aimed for a knitter of a bust circumference of 66 inches. And I write this in the pattern and I give you the recommended ease and the finished measurements, so that should be easier for you to find the size that you should need for yourself. I always say, don't follow the numbering for the sizes, don't follow the medium or whatever. Always look at the finished measurement in the pattern. There should be a table, or these measurements should be listed, and or you can look at the schematic in a pattern which the schematic should have the exact same information as the table of finished measurements. So look at that always. Every time you purchase a pattern, whether it's from the same designer, always take a look at the finished measurements. Don't look at the sizing numbers because, and this is why, sometimes I design pieces that have fewer sizes. So the size jump between size 1 and 2 might be more than my usual size increment. That is, my usual size increment is 4 inches or 10 centimeters. But sometimes if I am using a very large pattern repeat, or if there's something that is too oversized and shapeless, and I say it really doesn't make sense to make all these sizes because people are going to choose a size depending on how much ease they want or not. So maybe, okay, the smallest is still for a bust measurement of 30 inches, but the largest is also for 66 inches, but in between we don't have 8 sizes. In between maybe we have 4, and therefore the size increment will be different. And my sizes, instead of being called 1 to 10, these sizes are going to be called maybe 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. So if you don't take a look at the schematic and you say, okay, for Joji's patterns, I always need size 7, then you look at the pattern and you say, hey, wait, there are only 6 sizes. She didn't make my size. And actually, I might have. Maybe I called it something different. So whether it's one of my patterns, whether it's by a different designer or a magazine, my recommendation is always take a look at the schematic and decide the size that you want to make based on that. If you have any questions about sizes, remember you can always email me at designsbyjoji@gmail.com and I will help you choose your size. So MILTON, 20% off. Go check it out. You'll see a beautiful project gallery with some amazing test knitters who have helped me get this ready for you, including my mom's version, which is beautiful. Always my mom's versions are more beautiful than my own. She made a spectacular version using the same yarn, but her color is a hot pink called Sari. By the way, my color is called Sansa. It's a very sweet, pale pink or nude, and I am absolutely in love. This pattern is making its debut today. I am in New York because I am going to be teaching at Bow Knitting Live New York 2024. My friend Amy, who made the yarn, is here as well, and we're going to be showing it to everyone on her booth. She's going to have a booth at Brooklyn General Store here at the festival. If you are attending, she will be in booth 311 to 315, and I will be doing a meet and greet that is open to everyone to come on Saturday, January 27 from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So if you are attending, I hope that you come. I will be showing MILTON. It's probably going to be on a mannequin and I'm going to be wearing something else, but MILTON is going to be there for you to see it, and there's also going to be a lot of this yarn for you to acquire if you want to use the same yarn. Whew, that was a lot. I'm also trying to rush because at 2 p.m. so in 40 minutes I have a Joji & Go shop update. I'm probably going to pause this video and return to you after I work the shop update. But yeah, I want to really get everything out. Speaking of New York, I am here with my niece. My niece is 17 years old. Her name is Isabella, and she came to meet her special someone for the first time, and they have been dating for some time virtually, and she came to meet her boyfriend, and I am her chaperone for the weekend. Everything's going out really great. We are super happy. Her family is happy. She's happy. I'm happy, and we are sharing a room. And it's a pleasure to be able to share this weekend with someone from my family that is so dear to me. My niece is like one of my own children, and I am very excited that she can be here with me and also having a really good time. Then also I want to show you the other pattern that I published earlier in I think it was last week. I showed this in the previous journal, but if you didn't watch that, I told everyone that I was about to publish this pattern called Chubby Butterflies. It came out last week, and it's worked with chunky weight yarn. This is Spin Cycles Plump in the colorway Ghost Ranch, and it's Manos del Uruguay Cardo in the colorway Peach Blossom. This is also available on Ravelry right now, and it's called Chubby Butterflies. So those are the two patterns that came out since I last recorded. If you are wondering what I was wearing before showing you MILTON, it's the pattern that came out before those. It's called Ropes and Twines, and I brought it because one of the classes that I am teaching here is on Sunday, and I'm going to be talking about these very, very special cables that I made for Ropes and Twines that are made using I-cord, as you can see. And yeah, and so I'm going to be talking about that with my students, and we're going to be learning how to do that. Again, this is called Ropes and Twines, and it is also made with La Bien-Aimée yarn, but this is her Merino Aran. And the colorway is called, oh, I should straighten my back. The color is called Dusk. Yeah, so I have one finished object, but I can't show it to you, so it will have to wait until next time, because actually I didn't need to bring that finished object with me here, because I'm not using it for any classes, and I didn't think it made any sense to bring it for the journal only. But I do have a new work in progress. This is a new top design that I am working on. I'm first going to show you the swatch. And this is my Yak's Coupa collection. It's a blend of organic cotton and yak. Of course, my yak specializes in yak yarns. It's a fingering weight. It's not a light fingering. It's a proper fingering weight yarn. I am loving it, and I am going to make a sleeveless top. This is based on my hipster design. So this is going to be the hipster top or the hipster tee. And these are the shoulder details. This is going to go over here. I don't know. I hope that you can sort of visualize what I am doing. And this is going to have a V-neck. And it's not going to have any sleeve finishing or any detailing on the sleeves. I'm just working a garter stitch edge, and yeah, and that's it. That's going to be the whole design. Slightly boxy, not too form-fitting, with a bit of positive ease, so slightly drop shoulders. Yeah, and I will not remember what these two colors are called. It's like a warm light gray and a dark gray that is kind of bluish. But I will tell you next time, because I didn't bring any tags with me and I forgot to check the colorway names before starting this recording. So that is my new work in progress. It looks like a mess because I am working a lot of sections at the same time. But it shouldn't look like this once you need it, don't worry. I'm just being messy on purpose, so to make my life more difficult. The other thing that I am working is not technically a project, but as I told you, I am teaching a class on cables this Sunday. It's not on cables per se, it's a class on how to make your cables different and more fun and add some details to your cables. and I asked the knitters to make 2 swatches for this class. And I have some swatches that I've used previously when I have taught this yarn in the past, but I thought that every time I teach this class again, it could be good to make another set of swatches so that I eventually start growing the amount of swatches that I have, and I can show some of the examples a little bit better. So here I am trying to finish another swatch for this Sunday, and for that I am using some Mayak worsted medium in the oatmeal colorway. So that's what I am knitting here at the hotel when I am not out sightseeing. By the way, I wanted to talk to you about my itinerary here. I am very proud of myself. If you have been following me for some time, you might remember that I got a little bit tired of teaching and traveling before the pandemic. And I as soon as I stopped traveling and teaching, I realized that I loved it a lot and that I missed it. So I thought, okay, why did I stop doing this? What was it that it was harmful for me, or why did I feel that it was really not working out so well? As a teacher who comes from so far away, I basically want to say that I don't, like, whatever I am paid, even if I am compensated very fairly, I don't do it for the compensation, because I'm always so much time away from home that it really doesn't make up for the fact that I have to stop working for such a long period of time. So it wasn't about getting more money, which you know, it would always help to be paid a little bit more. Not just me, all teachers, we always struggle. Every year we struggle to get paid a little bit better, and I know that that's in the works, and that's actually getting a lot better, which is great. But also it was about getting burnt out, because I was teaching too many workshops during these periods of time. And I talked to the organizers and I explained my situation, and I told them that I really wanted to take part in the event, but coming from Argentina and making the whole trip, and then having to be available for not just the 6 hours that the 2 workshops involved, but also having to be available for meet and greets or interviews and then dinners, actually meant that I got very tired and I couldn't sleep because I was so tired. So I asked them if there was any chance that I could come and take part, but only teach 1 workshop a day, and then I can do meet and greets, so I can actually reach more people. I'm going to do a lecture which has a capability, I don't know if that's the word, but I will be in a room with 100 people instead of just 25, that's the normal number of my workshops. And the lecture is only 1 hour, and I get to be with 100 people. So it's actually working out so that I get to do this. I get to record from my room. I get to spend time with my niece. I get to wake up in the morning and go out for a run or for a walk, which is something that I actually discovered that I need in the morning in order to be healthy and stay relaxed and stay productive. And the organizers at Vogue Knitting Live were really supportive about this. They really worked together with me, and I know that it would have been nicer to be able to offer more workshops, because some people were disappointed that they couldn't sign up for some of the classes. But at the same time, I know everyone knows that I might be here again if this is a good experience for me. If I get burnt out, then I'm probably going to be too tired to say yes again. So I'm proud of myself for saying that, for actually talking to the organizers and letting them know what I needed, and I am having a really good time. Today is Thursday, as I said. My first workshop is tomorrow. So I've had a whole day to settle here, to recover from the long journey, and tomorrow I will be super fresh and ready to teach and meet people and say hello, and I am really looking forward to that, as you can see. I have another work in progress that I am planning to start at some point. I didn't bring a lot of the Mayak yarn because I forgot extra skeins, but also I thought I would be knitting more than I actually am. I'm checking the time for the update. And so I might not start this project. I thought, okay, if I run out of the Mayak yarn, I will start this other project, but I think I will just stay with that and make progress on one project, and then I can like write the pattern and move on. But if I run out of yarn, this is what I'm going to cast on. If you remember, I showed you last episode that I was working on a brioche shawl. That shawl is finished. I finished it about a week ago. It's beautiful. It blocked out really nicely. It's big and it turned out really well. I already wrote the pattern, but I am not testing it because if you were paying attention on Instagram, I finished a bunch of patterns. I sent them all out to test knit, and I'm currently testing 3 very complex patterns, and my brain is trying to keep up to everything that's going on with those 3 patterns, and I think that if I send out a 4th one, it's just going to be a mess. So I'm waiting to get at least these 3 at least started so that we iron out all the kinks that always happen at the beginning of a test knit, and then I'm going to send out the shawl. But I'm going to make a second version because I am going to use the same idea. The idea is your first brioche shawl for another workshop that I have to teach in Uruguay for Manos del Uruguay. So I thought, okay, I already made a 3-color fingering weight shawl, and I'm going to use the same concept, and I'm going to make a 2-color worsted weight cowl. So basically the same pattern should be so versatile that you should be able to make it as big or as small as you want and use whatever yarn weight that you want. So I am thinking of casting on the cowl version, and I'm going to use Manos yarns, of course, because they are the one hosting the retreat in April. I'm gonna start by the solid color. This is, I think it's a DK weight. I said worsted, but I think it's a DK weight. This is called Sami, and it's 273 yards per 100 grams skein. So definitely a DK, and it's nice. It's very nice. I love the twist that it has, and the color is called Galaxy Blue. And then they took the same base, so basically the same plies and yarn thickness, but what they did is they dyed the plies, the single plies, before twisting them and plying them, right? So it gives the yarn this barber pole look. It is not the same as spin cycle where they dye the roving and then they spin it, so they get these long colory beads. In this case, no, they dye, I think it's a fingering weight, they dye the fingering weight and then they ply 2 tonal or variegated plies together, and they get this beautiful barber pole yarn. The yarn is called Marla. It's available if you want to check it out. It's by Manos del Uruguay. And the color that I am using is called Marino. So I'm going to use these 2. I'm excited about this project because the pattern is already written. So that is work that is already done. So those are my sort of a work in progress and a wannabe work in progress. I talked about my published designs. I talked about my FO that is not here. I'm thinking whether I can share anything else with you. I think not. I think that I'm going to leave it here, and I think it's good enough. Let me know what you think. Thank you for coming along with me to New York City, and always, always thank you for being excited every time I post a new video. You are the best, and I am grateful for you. See you next time, hopefully in 2 weeks. Bye bye.